Hey everybody, this is Zach McKenzie with Outsmart Magazine, and we are joined today by Matt Rogers, whose Showtime special, Matt Rogers, Have You Heard of Christmas, is streaming now. Matt, let's go ahead and just jump right in. Where did the idea for this Christmas special come from? And was it like a childhood dream fulfilled?
I think that one day it was like 2017, and really just as a comic in New York, I was just looking for any new show to put up. And I was watching an interview with Mariah Carey, as I am wont to do. And she was definitely gearing up for the Christmas season. And the interview was like complimenting her on being not only such an excellent purveyor of Christmas content, like, of course, we all love the songs, but also a genius marketing mind, because now she would have something every year. She was seasonally ubiquitous, if you will. Like every year for Christmas, it's the Mariah show. And so I think that what I got from that was both a comedic idea, which is like, oh, I think that's really funny. Like it's this person that like wants to be famous every year on Christmas, and you can't ignore them. It has to happen every year because Christmas isn't going anywhere. And then secondarily, like just something that I thought would be a shrewd move for me, because now I get to perform every year. And that's all I really want to do. It's like, I wake up in the morning, open my eyes, and I think, how can I perform? How can I get out there? And so
Yeah.
basically, it was, both a funny idea that I had for like this person who was going to put out a Christmas album, because of course that's how you say, relevant every year. And then also, it was how I was going to stay relevant every year. So it was like both a joke and also real, which I also think is like a good way to describe the special. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's is genuinely a Christmas special, but it's also dragging Christmas specials. Like it's celebrating
Yeah.
Christmas, but it's also dragging Christmas. I think it's, for everyone in that regard.
Well, that leads perfectly into my next question because it isn't your typical Christmas special, right? And
Mhm.
so I'm wondering for you, because this is for our Houston LGBT magazine, and I'm
Yeah.
wondering, what does it mean to you just as a person, as a gay man, to create such a funny, but also just joy-filled, hilarious Christmas special that everyone can enjoy?
Well, I always feel like with Christmas, it's so inescapable, but also the roots of it are in Catholicism, right? Obviously, and they're very Christian. We could say that Christmas is Christian culture, and that's a rule of culture. But and that's an exclusive on this for you. So there should be an opportunity for us to like take back our role in it. You know what I mean? Just because it is so inescapable, like everyone in the world has to experience Christmas because the culture just makes it such a thing. It feels like even if you don't actually celebrate it or are not of a religion that celebrates Christmas, like you kind of have to deal with it. You can't go anywhere and like escape it. So for queer people who may not necessarily be comfortable with the religious aspect of it, but appreciate the cultural aspect of it, or maybe always wanted to embrace it more, but feel like there's an ick factor about it, I wanted to create something that sort of like made it fun for us. You know what I mean? Like I can't help but be who I am. I did not set out to make a gay Christmas special. I set out to make a Christmas special that represented me and my point of view. I will always be queer. I always have been. It is a part of my comedy. It's a part of my identity. So when I do anything from my perspective, it's going to be drenched in that. And I'm happy about that. And
Yeah.
so when I make a Christmas special, it's of course going to be a queer Christmas special. I don't care to market it like that
Right.
because, I think that I don't want to make anyone feel like this is the gay Christmas special that you will watch. And this is the one, because I don't think it should be the only one. I think that people should continue to, riff on and satirize and make fun of or celebrate Christmas from their perspectives, henceforth, however they want to. But for me, if I was doing a Christmas special, this is what it is. And like I said, it's equal parts celebrating it and dragging it because that's my perspective on the holiday as a queer person.
Yeah. And it's so unique and inclusive and just also good. And so besides the obvious, right? Like talking about your inspirations for the songs and the different numbers that you have, thinking of the Grinch, the name checks from Rockefeller Center. What were some of your kind of inspirations going into this creative process? And I will say the Aaron Jackson and Josh Sharp take on Destiny's Child Girl was it's and not to give any spoilers away, but I don't think it does. But I mean, I just got to say that had me rolling. I was laughing so hard.
Thank you. Well, that obviously was the inspiration for that.
I'm
Girl by Destiny's
sure.
Child was the inspiration. You know, for every song that I have in the special, it probably was inspired by me hearing a genre or type of song and wanting a song in the show like that. So what I try to do is, if I'm listening to something that I'm inspired by, I just try to think what is the genre here and what kind of comedic idea would match it.
Mhm.
So for example, this is going to be a weird one, but for Lube for the Sleigh, I wanted like a disco song. I had just gotten back. I had been on vacation, and my friends were all listening to Enough Is Enough by Barbara Streisand and Donna Summer. And I loved the way it started out slow and lush and then got up tempo. And I just thought, what's a funny word for like someone like Barbara Streisand to sing and belt out? And I thought lube was such a funny word for that. And I don't exactly know how I stumbled upon the idea of like, it's that the bag that Santa has all his gifts in is so tight that he needs to lube up the gifts so that they fit. But that is where my mind went. And I just matched that genre of song to that comedic idea and ended up with a song that now a lot of people are telling me is one of their favorites in the show.
Yeah.
But it is such a weird long walk, to be like, oh, of course, this idea where it's the looby gifts so they fit in the bag. Of course, that's a, disco song. And of course, that's a, reference to this old Barbara Streisand, Donna Summer duet. None of it makes sense. And yet for me, it perfectly makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I literally just thought of myself doing the lube. And I was just like, I think that's funny. Just that sound would be funny. It's almost like a tantalizing call, And I just thought, yeah, maybe like that disco moment of like the lushness, like in the Dreamgirls soundtrack, how they'll do the slow version of One Night Only and then the disco version of One Night Only. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's very intrinsic in the disco genre. And so in wanting to have a disco Christmas song, which is very in the tone of the show,
Yeah.
because again, he is primarily trying to be a pop star and then secondarily like celebrating Christmas. I think he just wanted to show that he could do this versatile of a song in the show. And so in my pursuit of having every genre of song in the show, that's how that worked out. But it's like that with so many songs. I was inspired by For Every Christmas Eve, which is the Mrs. Claus song. I had just seen Hamilton, and I was inspired by the song Burn in Hamilton, which is, Eliza Hamilton realizing that her husband's a lying, cheating bastard.
Yeah.
So then that became that song. And Yes, Girl by Destiny's Child for Also It's Christmas, which is my opening song, my single. It's like a
Yeah.
club banger. I was listening to a lot of David Guetta and a lot of Zed, so that type of thing. I really wanted like a Christmas pop dance single. And I
Yeah.
thought that was the way to go with that. So
And it's a
again,
cross genre too. And it's like,
yeah.
I'm wondering, does that kind of translate over into your live shows? Like you have one coming up in Austin on December 21st, and which is very exciting, just down the road from us here in Houston.
Yeah, emos.
Wondering if there, yeah, emos, and wondering if there are any, is it, obviously it's not a cut and dry, like what you see on TV is what you see. What makes it different? What makes the live shows different?
Well, obviously in the taped version, there's these sketches that frame the show. And you sort of understand this idea more when you watch the special on Showtime, that this is a documentation of me trying to become the Prince of Christmas and join Mariah Carey in the Christmas canon. As as we all know, she's the Queen of Christmas. And I'm just really in a very craven sense trying to solidify myself as this thing that we're going to celebrate annually as part of the holiday, whereas on stage it's really just me doing the album. It's like a performance of the album and I'm in the character the whole time. So something that I give the live audiences that have come to see the show is a couple of new songs. There's 2 or 3 or 4 actually that I don't do in this special, and what the special offers is the context and the sketches and the sort of extra production quality that you get in a taped special, whereas the live show is like a true live experience of the album being performed.
Got it. And so I think a lot of people do kind of up to this point, like obviously me, a huge Las Culturistas fan.
Thank you, Reader.
Like, oh my God, Reader to the end. People think of you in tandem with your creative partners, like whether it be Bowen, whether it be Dave Mazzoni, but also for your projects. Like I love that for you and Fire Island, and then everything else you have coming up, right? But I was excited because this is you stepping out on stage by yourself, like solo, more or less. You've got your pianist and you've got your Aaron Jackson and Josh Sharp who come up on stage, but this is your solo show. What does it mean to you in this moment? Just, I mean, obviously listening to your podcast and hearing you talk about the hustle from your days all the way back at Tisch, like, what does it mean to you?
You know, it's a really great opportunity for me to be able to show what I'm individually all about, but also I have never ever felt like I wasn't showing who I was in my collaborations. I never felt like I hid behind anyone. I've always felt very enriched by my collaborative relationships, and I've always felt like my impact was heightened by the people that I've worked with. I think that something that, you know, Bowen and Dave and Henry Kapersky and Josh and Aaron and anyone that I work with, something that they all have in common is that they are truly giving of their talent, and that they are not afraid to, you know, give and receive in terms of like the back and forth that is the creative process. You know what I mean? And I honestly think that, yes, while this is my solo show and it did come from me, I am like the creative director and artistic director of this project, and I am performing it chiefly myself. Again, it would not be possible without Henry Kapersky. And so I think that anyone that steps out there, and maybe some stand-ups could say this, but anyone that steps out there and has a really truly like successful creative endeavor is lying if they say they do it by themselves. And I'm someone that knows that we are all made stronger when we lean into those relationships, when we celebrate each other, when we support each other, when we talk about what we're all doing. You know, that's one of the reasons why I enjoy doing Las Culturistas so much, is because it's a platform where I get to tell people about what I love, and then they get to see it, and then they get to tell other people. And that is genuinely, I think, the gift of doing the podcast, is that is a chain reaction of positivity and creativity. And so that is really important to me. And so going forward, like looking forward to my collaborations and my individual quote unquote efforts, I always want to keep the spirit of collaboration. I always want to keep the spirit of togetherness, because I know that we're all made better for it.
Absolutely.
I've seen it happen.
Yeah. And I mean, to your point about the joy of what Las Culturistas brings, it is kind of a community. Like my friends, we adapt the like language and the words that y'all use and the phrases and stuff like that. So it's like we're hive. If you were to do an I don't think so, honey, about Christmas, you don't have to do the whole 1 minute thing. I won't put you through that. We're running out of time. But if it was like a topic, what is something that like you would just want to read for filth about Christmas?
Look, I know that in the special, I have a song called Rockefeller Center, and I celebrate everything that is about that, that center. But I do want to say, I don't think so, honey, the tree. It's just a tree. And so many families like come from far and wide to see the tree. And then they get there and they stand up and like, yeah, it's a tree. Okay. Like for sure, it's got lights on it. Like that happens all over the place. You turn around, there's another tree with lights on it. This one's just big. And then where are you going to go? Like you're going to go get a $45 burger. You're going to go ice skate. Good luck. It's like a 2-hour line and you know it's overpriced. And also ice skating. Come on. Like the whole Rockefeller Center, for me, it's just like one big flop. Like go downtown.
Yeah. And that's 1 minute.
That's 1 minute, probably.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Matt. This is so awesome. And everyone watching, be sure to stream Matt Rogers, Have You Heard of Christmas, streaming now on Showtime. Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank you. This is
all right.
So fun.
Yes, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Yeah.